Good morning, everybody. What's happening? Let's go. Let's start this day. Let's kick some ass. We've got MASH. We have got Bakh'abantu. We've got me. We've got you. And we've got a full morning of fun and games ahead of us. I hope you're ready. Hope you're ready to do some cool shit. All right. So let's start off by just announcing to everybody, MASH, this is something that you can explain, because you know how angry the audience get whenever anything changes, when anything upsets their balance, and I understand. I mean, we're there to help wake them up in the morning, etc., etc. They don't like it when we fuck around with that. So you this morning are going to get the blame for fucking around with something, but it's because MASH has decided that he's got to try some new stuff. He's got to move on in the world. He's got to go into a different line of work, and he has accepted a job which he told us about like a month ago, and he starts his new job next month, and this is therefore his last show.
And can you believe that next month is Monday? So I am going corporate, Gareth. I'm going to be a corporate baddie. And yeah, it's something that I've been wanting to do for quite a minute, and I'm really excited to actually embark on this journey. I think it's always good to challenge yourself, It's always good to challenge yourself, always do something different, and always push the boundaries, push the limits. And yeah, I'm feeling good though overall, and I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. In fact, so excited that I am baking my own farewell cake, and I actually baked it last night already.
Yep, very good.
Yep.
I was farewell cake. I didn't see you walking with a cake here.
It's only coming tomorrow, Bakh'abantu.
It's coming on the day I'm not here. It's fine. Fine, I'll accept this. Yep. So I read between the lines. So what Mash is saying is that he's better than y'all. Everyone in the comments, he's better than y'all. He's going corporate. In other words, he's selling out. He's going up, bigger and better, moving forward. Yeah. So that's Mash. He's telling you like he's leaving you guys in the Bundus, moving up to the suburbs. Yeah. What was that? The Jeffersons moving on up.
Moving on up. And here's a cake. Here's a cake to celebrate me.
That was good for you. Listen, I always think that change is very, very important and very necessary. And I sometimes feel like we don't do enough to change things up on the show. And I feel like, as much as we want to be a consistent and constant part of people's lives, it's about growth. And what we do at CliffCentral is we always, and it's more Rena than it is me, but we try to give people an opportunity here. And then when it is time for them to go and do something else, or they want to do something of their own, or they want to go and work in a different environment, they get 100% support from us. And that's kind of the way it's going to work with MASH and with everyone else who works for us. And I mean, really, I take an enormous joy and happiness out of people who are doing what they meant to do and doing new things. So I think it's terrific. Well done to you, dude.
Thank you so much.
So I have christened this show the final Mashdown.
No.
Ryan, it's the final Mashdown.
All right, so actually, we won't get too sentimental, but Ryan put this together, which I think is quite cool. Take a look at this.
Everybody knows that's where the prostitutes live. It's just prostitutes day. So I take off my clothes and I just left it underwear. I get in there and everyone is naked. Someone in the comments is like, you must have had a huge slong as well. I am just busy squat hovering over the toilet right now, trying to avoid my ass being bitten by a snake. So
don't go live doing that.
Can't believe that I'm a fool again. You know that one?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's so bad. Do you care about MASH's story about the baby mobile?
Nothing at all.
No.
It's listening to MASH. It's like CR 2.0. It's like.
But it is a fun experience. It is absolutely laid back, and there's nobody looking down at your junk the whole time. I never saw any wandering eyes. Everybody there is so civilized. And the thing is, when everybody's naked, it's okay. It's a safe space. As
You're
opposed
telling
to
me
you alone.
everyone's naked and no one's checking out anybody's junk. I wouldn't be able to help myself.
I don't care a damn about this Twitter verification. In fact, I believe, because I was scrolling through Twitter yesterday and noticed that all of my friends have blue ticks now. Every single one of them. I am the only one. And it made me realize that pretty soon, not having a blue tick is going to be the blue tick.
I love it. Very cool. You see, most of the
Okay.
stuff that you were talking about had to do with nudity and your junk and hovering over a toilet bowl. I mean, it was really this classy stuff, Mash. I love it.
Ryan is just out to get me. Producer Ryan is out to get me because I think that was like 20% of what I ever talked about. 20%, Gareth. The rest of it was just academia, Harvard and...
Yeah, we were talking... The rest, I agree with you. Very sensible stuff. All right, but congrats, and we're all very, very excited. This doesn't mean, by the way, that Mash is never going to come on the show again.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many of your trials and tribulations that people still want. They want to update on, and so we're going to bring them those updates.
Yeah, no, I'll still be coming back. I'm not pulling a Mabali. I'm still coming back. I'll still be popping by. Right. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. All right. Well, that's very exciting. And you see, to prove the point, I mean, Bakh'abantu was here for a while and then he disappeared too. Now he's back. So it can happen, if people, because there are some serious MASH fans who are going to miss you.
Yes, 100%.
And Max Sony says, oh yeah, how can we forget that MASH sings in capital letters? Lol. MASH moving on to porn, he says as well. Gavin says, everyone who leaves the Gareth Cliff show never comes back, though. MKT, Mubs, Damon, Sia. Well, that's not entirely true. You've just chosen the 4 who never come back. But
yeah,
those are the... I mean, we've got like
Exhibit
20
A.
people. Yeah, exactly. We got 20 people who do come back. So that's
literally
nonsense,
20
Gavin.
people.
But,
yeah.
All right. We will really miss MASH, says Mo Dollars. Nice. There we go. MASH is taking over the JSE, according to Bongi. That's interesting. You don't know. Could happen. MASH feeling very patriotic today with one of those scarves that the government ministers wear at
the Zuma
Davos.
scarf, as I christened it.
Yes. I had to represent I had to represent my family, the ANC, today.
Oh, he's proper selling out. He's proper selling out.
You said such nice things about them before, right? Obviously.
They're my people. A mandala.
A mandala. So, all right. You can't tell us what kind of a job you're going to, though. Because people are going to speculate.
I can share. I'm not going to say which company just yet, but I will be going to be a manager, actually, a digital marketing manager for a subsidiary of one of the banks.
Nice. Well, that's not a bad job, dude. And there's a lot more job security in that than there are in most. So good for you.
100%. 100%.
Says MASH, I miss you already. One of my favorites. Isn't that nice?
I miss you too already, Instant.
Rajesh says, MASH, a word of advice for corporate. If you see the photocopier rocking, don't come a knocking. Okay. Very good. Good advice all around. Kana, which one is MASH? Aibo. What kind of a thing is that to say? Which one is MASH?
What does that mean?
Well,
do you all look the same?
Me and Bakh'abantu. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
But
good job,
Gareth, I wanted to share a bit about my weekend as well.
I knew there'd be a proper update. Go on.
My weekends are always quite ridiculous, but this past weekend was quite interesting, to say the least. So I started it off on Saturday morning by going to like a TikTok cooking thing. And and it was me and a whole bunch of other TikTok creators who are really much into cooking. Some are just dancers, and we're all split up into teams, and we got to cooking, and it was fun more than anything. We were given different recipes of which were all actually trending on TikTok, such as the Big Mac nachos. Now, if you haven't made this before, I want to give you a word of advice. Please make this. Go on TikTok, just search Big Mac Nacho and go and make this at home. It's so simple to make. It's so easy. And it tastes exactly like a Big Mac. Now, after making all of these things, the winning team actually got prizes. They actually got prizes. And of course, my team won because I can cook. Quite contrary to what Simpiwe always tells people about me. I can cook and I'm a very good cook. Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I'm bringing my own cake tomorrow.
Well, I find cooking the most dreary thing in the world, and you know that when Lebang talks about it, especially with like the air fryer, I just zone out. But I do appreciate good food, and if you can actually do this, then that's a hell of a thing for you to bring up right at the end of your time with us, you lazy son of a bitch, because you could have been bringing us nice stuff every week, but alas, all we know is that you couldn't braai. Remember when you burnt all that food?
First of all, you know the ironic part about that is they kept making fun of my chicken and Mash bent the chicken, but they enjoyed the chicken. The chicken actually disappeared quick. They were like, "Damn, this chicken is actually really good. It's actually really good." So that was fun. And then, yeah, after going to my little TikTok event, winning a prize there, I then went
winning a prize.
We won Take-A-Lot vouchers, and it's already spent. And then after that, I went to the launch of a brandy, actually. And I'm not even going to say which brandy. I don't think they even deserve to be mentioned because this event, or it was the first time I've ever had someone, literally a waiter, literally say to me, no, as I asked for food. He was literally like, nope, nope. Yep. So I went there with my partner and there was actually no table space left. This place was packed. And the waiters were literally running around with food. When I say running around, I mean so fast that you had to like grab and be like, hey, stop, hey, asking for food and begging for food.
Hang on. Why wouldn't this waiter give you food? Was there some kind of rule that he wasn't allowed to just give people food? What's the story?
So at this event, the food was very limited, number one.
I mean, was he not a fan of yours? Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe he saw me at the club or something. But
maybe it's one of the stories, maybe one of the exes, maybe one of the... There's a story there, Mash. Did you return his Tupperware one day?
I'm not too sure about that, Bakh'abantu, but this person wouldn't give us food simply because we got to a table. As I mentioned, this place was packed. Now we get to a table that just has bones and somebody was feasting at this table and then they left the table. So now we get to the table and there's literally just bones everywhere. And when we get to this table, I actually call one of the waiters and I'm like, hi, we haven't had anything to eat. And he points at the table and he's like, no, you guys have eaten enough. And he walks away.
Okay. So clearly this guy had confused you for the table that was there before he left all the bones.
Yes. But also at the same time, I was like, it's an event. I was invited. Even if these were my bones, I should be entitled to eat all of these wings.
No, Mash, what you don't understand here is that you're not entitled to anything.
I am entitled. I was invited. And I asked when they invited me, I said, will there be food?
This is the problem with today's youth. Entitlement. Also, Mash, I think it's more on a comment on maybe you look like you had a lot of food that day. Maybe you looked a bit puffy. I'm just saying, that's what the waiter thought. Maybe you looked like, hey, this guy is full. I can't be propping him up with more food. Maybe you looked like...
Bakh'abantu, I just lost 3 kg. I don't even know how on earth that happens. But as a result of these waiters and being so stingy with food and running around and running past us with food, this event turned into the Hunger Games. People were literally fighting for food, arguing and fighting, saying, no, that's my wing. That's my wing. There was so few food, so little food at this event.
So few food. The food was so few. Even the English words were few.
Hey, the fewest. And as a result, people are fighting for food. We actually ended up just leaving. We were like, yo, we'll just stop by McDonald's or something on our way home because this is not on. We'll stop by KFC. So after this event, and keep in mind it was a brandy launch, so I was drinking. Yes?
People think events are easy. It's not easy. And you have to make sure people are really happy. And these days, to get people to an event is difficult because they've got so many options, right? Or they just want to stay at home because they don't want to waste petrol money or they don't want to get an Uber, especially if it's a drinking event. They have to think about it seriously. And you
100%.
Doesn't matter how old you are or how many invites you get. People have to have a serious reason for coming to something. So these guys obviously did not plan this very well, or they were just cheap. Maybe they were cheap. They didn't want to spend.
Might have been both. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like,
Yeah,
we'll invite these dumb influencers. This is what we were talking about yesterday with Lebang. And no, seriously, and Weza, because we were saying, influencer marketing.
Yeah.
If you don't look after these influencers and you do what you did and you give them a table full of bones and they leave hungry, they're not going to stay for your event. They're going to have nothing nice to say about you. So they on their list to the client now, they're going to say, but we had Mashdown is 40. He's a very powerful influencer. And that's not untrue. But they're going to think that you were there helping them, and they're going to be very disappointed when they see that you don't say anything about them in social media.
Exactly. And one thing I've learned for sure is that if you're not paying us, give us an experience. Make us want to post by treating us
Can we name and shame here?
Yes.
No. Can I name and shame the brand?
Name and shame, uncensored, unradio.
All right.
Well, Viceroy, take some tips for your next event.
This is the problem. So now Gareth so where I come from in the Eastern Cape, closer people like Viceroy and Commando. It's the same shit. So number one, shit event. You should not be drinking Viceroy.
You're piling on. Look at you. All right. Go on.
They have a closer word for Viceroy and Commando. It's called Mkaqoba. Does that sound nice? Why were you going to a Mkaqoba event?
Why do you call it that? Is it like, do you guys use it to sprinkle over graves after people die?
Exactly, because it's basically a traditional. It's supposed to be ancestral, even though it's packaged by Viceroy and Commando. But yeah, it's one of these ceremonial brandies that we use.
Oh, so you guys what do you use it for exactly? Do you bath with it?
Oh no, it's a currency. It's a currency. So like if let's say you had an event and you want to pay the people that came to help slaughter, you want to pay the people that dug the grave. It's a currency.
So you give them.
So when I went to exactly. So when I went to the mountain, the people that helped with all of that, the people that built my boma and all of that, you get a bottle of Mkaqoba, Viceroy or Commando, and it's supposedly the best.
Oh wow, you have a boma.
I had one.
Oh, you had one?
Yeah, they built it.
Just for you?
Just for if I went to the mountain. It was literally in the mountains.
Oh, you went to the mountains?
Yeah.
So you got circumcised at the mountain?
This is turning into...
No, this is just to turn like.
Sorry, I'm so curious.
This is going into mash talk now. To naked people squatting over toilets, private parts.
It's just insight. I don't know much about the Xhosa traditions, and this is very interesting.
Yeah, but no, I went full Xhosa. Yeah, like mountain, alone, solitary, naked, painted white all day long, river, waking up at 5.
And what's the white stuff that you guys keep painted?
It's white clay. You go dig it. There's the place where you go dig it up, you mix it, and then you're supposed to cover yourself with white clay all the time.
What's the reason?
See now, man, you're going into my cultural... I don't know, man. Maybe I'll be cancelled by Xhosa Twitter here.
No,
no. The reason is to use.
Misa's waiting in the sidelines to shout at you for misrepresenting.
No. So the white clay, what it represents, it's sort of a deodorant, keeps you warm, it keeps you clean. Like you bath, you also do that. Also, you're supposed to stick out and stand out. You're not part of it's white. So if everything is green or brown, you're white, you stick out, and then you're supposed to be not hiding, but it's significant in that sense that it's a rite of passage. Let me put it like that.
Oh, I see.
It's a rite of passage. I came back very yellow bone. Yeah, that's the best blood cleanser you'll ever get for your skin.
Okay.
Best skin routine. 3 weeks.
You know how Mash loves a blood cleanser.
Look at my skin. I mean, it speaks for itself.
But
wow.
So you guys use this as a currency then? So
yeah, it became a currency of Viceroy and Commando.
Okay, so it is valuable.
Nah, that's terrible brandy.
All I can say is 100 rand.
Yeah, it's exactly. That's all I can say. 120,
750 mil.
And then it has that pantyhose. Dude, have you seen a bottle of Viceroy? It has a pantyhose situation going on.
They're like, we must reduce them.
It doesn't sound very prestigious if you use it to pay the grave diggers, you know.
Well, the grave diggers are pretty important. Someone needs to dig the grave. It's an entire thing. Like the village guys get together. I dug a grave or two, but I don't drink Viceroy because guys, I can't be drinking Viceroy. I still love my liver.
All right, well,
no. it's basically liquid death. Why am I drinking liquid death?
Hey, that is just a little bit too much.
The people I know who drink brandy, I wish they didn't.
Okay. Let's go with the brandies, right? Like entry level Burra, like Ryan's friends and like what Clip Drift and Coke.
I love how you said entry level Burra. You said Ryan's friends.
No. Ryan looks Burra. Oh, come on, Ryan's from the West Rand. I can't say that. Come on, Rodeport. They drink Clip Drift and Coke there.
I thought you wanted to start the show this morning, though, Bakh'abantu, with an inspirational quote. Because people need this. This is what people tell me all the time. They go, "Oh, what we need in our life is inspiration and motivation." So you've gone and sourced far and wide. You went on the internet and you found something beautiful.
So now, as for the final Mashdown, what I decided to go with, Mash, parting words. These are very wise words from a very wise woman. Some people call her Kamala, but it's actually pronounced Kamala. Kamala. Okay. So now the words are. Let me just. I want to quote her directly. I don't want to misrepresent her words.
Okay.
I can and then you can listen to this. Here it is.
Can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What we can see, what we believe can be.
I don't know what to say. I mean, she obviously thinks this is very, very inspirational because she uses it everywhere. This woman she's obviously very, very stupid. Can I just say that means nothing? Can you try and explain to us what she's trying to say there? Why she
no, Mash, what can be here, CliffCentral?
Yes.
Needs to be unburdened by what was. I don't know what she's trying to say. All I know is she sat down with a couple of interns there at the White House and they were like, Kamala, you need to say this stuff. And then she keeps on repeating it. This is her yes, we can moment. So terrible.
Unburdened by what has been. She always sounds like she's about to burst into tears.
Of course, she's about to burst into tears. Gareth, she's a double minority.
Oh my God.
Triple minority. She's what, half
Triple?
Indian? Yeah, she's half
Is she
Indian.
lesbian as well?
No, half Indian, half black. So she's
that's true.
And then she's a woman.
That's why
yes.
Wait, that is why she's vice president. She has no other qualifications. She clearly has no ability. Her speeches are the worst speeches ever to be given. And believe me, there have been some shitty vice presidents in American history. Some of them have been shot by other politicians. Burr was shot by Hamilton in a duel.
No. Burr wasn't shot by no. Burr killed Hamilton. Check you, sir. Check yourself. Right. Burr killed Hamilton.
Okay.
And
there was Dan Quayle, who's probably one of the dumbest people that ever held office in America. He was George Bush Sr.'s vice president. But I'll tell you something. This Kamala Harris she's barely able. I mean, we think Joe is like senile and demented, and he is. I don't know if you saw him yesterday. He was with Prime Minister Modi of India, right? And Modi's sitting there. He's got his translator. He's got his people. They're sitting in the White House. And Joe goes, well, first of all, I just want to apologize by not starting. Anyway, I've been giving away a lot of state secrets in this room. These are his real words. And Modi, the Prime Minister of India, this guy's been invited there by this idiot. And he looks at him like, what fucking drugs are you on, dude? And all Modi's people in the room are also going like, what the hell is this? What is going on? So you got that guy. But somehow he's still more cogent and less dreary than Kamala. Imagine what could be burdened by what has been.
once I took a giant shit, and it was the greatest shit I've ever taken. And I was unburdened. Once I took the shit, I just flew off the ball, and people loved it. I mean, it's just unbelievable how low level these people are that are in charge of the world. Doesn't it drive you crazy? Like, I know old ladies who run caravans that sell mohodu that would do a better job than any of these people we've just spoken about.
Truly.
Really?
Yeah. Hey, and I wonder, I wish I could just be one of the audience when Kamala gives one of her speeches, Kamala, and she's like, what kid? We don't see the audience reaction.
No, they lap it up.
They lap it up?
What do you call it? The liberals that are in Kamala. Okay, number one,
Democrats.
The Democrats, yeah, they lap that stuff up.
You think they especially choose people who they know won't go, what the fuck? Because I was sitting in the front row and she went, we've got to believe in what can be. And she started that shit. I'd sit in the front row and go, what the fuck?
What's going on?
Yeah, what are you talking?
And this stuff to prove that the audience laps the shit up. Okay, mind my French. They put it up. They put it up on CNN. They put like Gareth and just make up these clips. These things were broadcasted and like.
I'm sure CNN was like, yeah, that's Kamala Harris, just doing her thing. And
I'll tell you, you know what was a better speech than anything Kamala's ever said? Grab him by the pussy.
No, I thought you were gonna go about fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Can't get fooled again.
I love that guy, George.
One thing I actually ended up being quite enveloped by this past weekend was the Rosemary's hit list.
What is that? That's a TV show?
It's a show on Showmax. It's only 2 episodes in so far. Episode 3 is actually coming out today. And it basically documents, or it's basically a documentary about Rosemary, about her life. They actually show her family members and the family members who are, left alive after their loved ones have been killed by Rosemary as well. It is traumatic because the story of Rosemary, we all know the story, Bakh'abantu. Everyone knows the story. She killed this person, she killed this many people. But when you hear the loved ones of the people she killed actually coming on and telling the story, saying, this person called me on this day, said, this woman's going to kill me. And we're like, oh, relax. And then
this is not fiction. This is a documentary.
Yes, that's what makes it even more terrifying.
Wow.
But Mash, like I grew up small town again, so everyone knows everyone's business. So where I come from, they call it to make someone a sheep. So you put these bunch of people like gardeners, all these low-level people like gardeners, like low-level in terms of you being the madam. You put them all in life policies, and then they have accidents. And then all of a sudden, lady renovates her house. Lady's renovating her kitchen. Lady buys a new car. Like, this is well-known stuff from where I come from. It's you.
So it's what y'all do in Eastern Cape.
Hey, bro, it's an entire business. There's this house lady, there's this woman. She's a housewife. She has all the money in the world. Personalized car. I'm talking your personalized car. And we know where she gets the money. We know. Everyone knows.
So everybody knows she's a killer.
No, she's not a killer. She invests in death.
So what is it? Why would people just let her keep getting away with this? And I mean, if this Rose, I didn't realize it was a true story. This is something that actually happened until Mash just explained it to me now. Why would people in these little towns like yours, Bakh'abantu, why do they put up with this shit if they know someone is a crook? We've got so many crooks in this country. And they are hurting people day by day. They're killing. They're doing whatever it takes for money. They've got tenders. They're breaking shit down. They're making life a misery for people. Why do people let these crooks continue to live in these without any? There's no repercussions for them. Why? What does that say about? What does that say about the people who just allow this to happen?
So I won't speak about the normal people. Let's talk about the law. So there's a news story. I don't know if you saw it. It's coming up. two cops shot each other. You think those people can mount a defense against Rosemary, who has a hit list and killing people methodically?
But they shot each other. They're out in public.
Exactly. And then you expect those people to defend you against proper planned serial killer stuff.
I gotta say,
no, I'm not too sure about that.
If you tolerate this stuff and you're not prepared to go out on a limb and you're
complicit.
There are mostly good people in this country. South Africa is not a country filled with terrible people. Most of us are just trying to go about our lives. The reason that these bad people get away with it is because the rest of us lack courage. And there's no other way to say it. Sure, you're going to encounter some trouble in your life. Sure, you're going to have a tough time. People might ostracize you. You might put your own life in danger. But you're in as much danger as you would have been if you shut your mouth about that bad person anyway, because they think they own you there.
Exactly. Because I'm thinking to myself, yes, you guys are quiet. You guys are seeing this woman's killing all her gardeners, all her maids. And she's investing in death, as you call it. But now, what happens on the day when it's you?
No. So what you guys are preaching is evil thrives when good men do nothing.
Correct.
But not really. Not in South Africa. In South Africa, no one has the chutzpah. That's a Afrikaans word. Like, the chias.
You know what? You've got it. Where you find bad things, you must uncover them. The whole I cannot believe that people would be so frightened, so victimized that they're not even prepared to stand up for themselves. If you don't stand up for yourself, who will? And if you have so little self-respect that you don't stand up for yourself, who are you expecting to come and stand up for you? It's not going to happen.
Let's just bring it back, Gareth. Devil's advocate. I'm on your side on this. Just to be clear, disclaimer. But devil's advocate, people aren't standing up to the people that are supposed to be taking their trash. People aren't standing up to the people that are like, this is just the government. People pay taxes. They do their part, but government's not doing their part. People don't stand up to that. And then we grew up in a township, Mash. You grew up in a township, I'm sure. Like, you know the story. Everyone knows if there's a house break-in, we know who it is. Right. You can attest to this. We know who the thieves are.
I just grew up in a township. I grew up at
I know where you're going with this. I'm gonna short circuit you and say this is why it never gets better.
This is why it never gets better, because people, because it's the mentality that we have. Snitches get stitches.
I'm like those motivational speakers. I'm here to tell you that if you don't start the process of making it better, then you can't complain about how shitty your life is. There isn't someone from the outside.
You are the change that you want to see in the world. Be the change you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is not some Kamala Harris thing. Please, this is hugely important. We have millions of people in South Africa who are living in the most appalling circumstances. Uncles are raping little girls and just terrible shit's going down. If you're not going to stand up to those people, you do not have any right to complain.
100%. Because tomorrow it's you. Tomorrow, this woman has got you there. You're sipping tea in her mansion after she gave you a lift in her G-Wagon, and you're having the time of your life until you start bubbling at the mouth, and you're like, somebody, and you're like, crap.
So
we could have stopped
one of the worst stories, just like it's not funny, but like I find it funny, like dark humor. One of the worst stories is that this one guy was supposed to die within 2 months, and then this guy proceeds to live for 2 years. This lady gets so annoyed, she got another guy to drive her car to go kill the guy. And then they caught the guy, the driver, and he's like, no, she just sent me to go chaisa that man, to go run him over. And then then the docket disappears, obviously.
Of course.
You need to finance the system.
You know what you do? You open the case again. I'm sorry, there are people who have gone to jail for a lot less. And all it takes is somebody who's like not going to say no. And those people don't just live in rich areas. There are brave people in all kinds of places. They've got to stand up for themselves. And the rest of us have got to support them. I guarantee you, on the street where some horrible criminal lives, there are 20 people who also live on that street who are not horrible people. And 20 is stronger than one. No matter what that one does, there is an opportunity to turn against them. I'm sorry, I just don't buy this crap. I'm not going to make
100%.
Wait, to close with a quote. Again, so I'm the guy with the quotes this morning. You said Alexander Hamilton. So what Alexander Hamilton said, if you're not willing to stand for something, what will you fall for?
You'll fall for everything. That's what will happen.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, this woman is an absolute nutcase. And I see even Snaya saying in the comments, in Rosemary's case, people were afraid to report her to the police because she was a police officer and they felt like she was invincible as a result. And that's exactly what she felt like as well, because in this documentary, they also played recordings from the insurance companies when she was taking the policies. Now, this shocked me because, first of all, I always hear this thing. You know, when you call companies, they're like, the call is recorded. And I always thought, why? Why do I need a recording? But for the first time in my life, I actually got to listen with my own ears and hear why we need recordings. This woman was taking policies. Hi, my name is Bakh'abantu. Yeah, I'd like to take a life insurance policy for 2 million rand. Yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's her. They were like, we literally listened to her take the policy as if she's this person. And then 2 weeks later, this person's dead. Yo, it's just, I think it's amazing. I think this documentary made me realize that we do still have some good investigative capabilities as a country. We do have some CSI level, NCIS level investigators. And I think we need to support these people.
No. We need to back the machine. The machine works, Mash, but we need to fuel it properly. Like, the Constitution is beautiful. Our laws are great. But again, it's the police officers that are the criminals. Someone said blue uniforms are the legal criminals. No? Yeah. Those guys are. You see, now that's the problem. Like what Gareth said. If everyone takes a stand, then.
Yeah. And all these people who are not taking a stand, I have to ask you, like, what do you think is going to happen? You think if you just sit on your hands, your life is going to get better? Come on. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And it'll be partly your fault. You are making yourself an accessory to that crime. And when things go badly and it doesn't work out well for you, you can't then bitch about, oh, well, the government or, oh, well, the police. You've got to use what there is. It's not perfect, but you got to use what you know what? You go to that police station every day and you lay a charge again until eventually they can't ignore you. And if you can't get anywhere with them, you go to the provincial commissioner. Nobody does this stuff. They wonder why it doesn't get better, but they don't do anything about it. They sit there and go, someone save me. No one's coming to save you. I'm sorry.
Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. That's a J. Cole line.
Yeah.
Okay, let's change the subject. That's depressing, but I mean, I'm glad we brought it up anyway. All right. So we've got a couple of things that Bakh'abantu wants to get into. Apparently, you think Australia, like I do, is not a great place, and not just for humans. Just what was it? Monday we were talking about Australia, and someone said to me, why do you hate Australia so much? Did Australia hurt you?
No. I was watching Monday.
I've never been. I don't have any issue with Australia. I'm very happy to have friends there. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to live there, except from other people's opinions and perspectives. But it is a hostile place to human beings. The things that live in the sea around Australia, the things that live on the land, want to kill people.
I always say Australia is like a portal to hell. That's like where the portal is.
You know what Australia was founded on, Bash? It was literally a prison to go chuck people there. Because no one is supposed to survive there. It's not Newfoundland.
It wasn't founded. It was colonized by these people.
Prisoners.
But yes, this place has a very checkered history.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth saying that. We can't ignore that, right?
No, we can't ignore that. They're all descended from. They're all descended from the. No. Okay, so my chat with you guys had the quokka story. Oh, quokka's so beautiful and whatnot. I'm like, have you guys seen the stuff that's in Australia? There's this one quote I like from an Australian doctor. He's like, so when you get bitten by a snake in Australia, because there's so many different types of species, don't run, don't stand still, find your bearings, grab the snake. It's gonna bite you, guaranteed. Grab the snake and run to the nearest hospital, so that by the time the venom kicks in, you have the snake to show them it's this snake. Because if you say it's a green snake, Chief, there's 60 green snakes.
Yeah. I've actually thought of this before as well, that if a snake bit me, how would they know which anti-venom to use?
Oh, no, in South Africa, we know black mamba. We know like black mamba.
Yeah, black one is black mamba.
Yeah, you see, we have certain types there. But in Australia, they have this weird thing called the Atticus spider. Apparently, it's not. What is it? It's okay. It's poisonous when you eat it, but venomous when it bites you. It's not venomous. It's like our version of the daddy long legs. But throw up a pic, Gareth, and show me if you're not scared of that. Arachnophobia.
This is what it looks like. That's a huge ass spider. Okay.
Imagine walking into.
I've seen this image. I thought it was Photoshop.
No, that's real, Mash.
This is real.
This is you find this in your house.
Here's what it does. Look at this. That's a real thing.
It moves that fast.
Jesus.
It moves that fast. And you just and then people are like, no, it's just one of those things. You see your cockroach. You were complaining about cockroaches, German cockroaches. Imagine Attica spiders just chilling there on your wall.
And we've got them. We've got those Parktown prawns.
Parktown prawns.
Someone said to me, they are so scared of Parktown prawns. They don't mind snakes. They don't mind spiders. They don't mind any of that stuff. But do not put a Parktown prawn anywhere near them. They shit themselves.
Hey, but have you seen Parktown prawns? Hey, there's these ones that fly. Hey, these things have evolved. They fly at you.
Jeez.
Yeah, but no. I prefer an Alex rat. I prefer anything over an Attica spider. Someone said it's a huntsman spider. Whatever you want to call it, I prefer that to anything. I don't care if it's venomous. I don't care if it's poisonous. I don't care if it's what. I don't want to walk into a room, light up the switch, and then see that thing on my wall. And then when I look back, it's gone.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's not on. That's not on. This is too terrifying for me. Oh.
So now there's another thing to be frightened of. Audrey says, I couldn't watch. Spiders freak me out. Yeah. I mean, Ricky says, Australia is great. I love it here, but there is nothing like South Africa. The patriotism of South Africa is amazing. You see it here in Oz. They had to wait. Yeah, look, I'm not comparing. I think like a black mamba is a pretty awful thing.
Yeah.
Somebody out
there is looking at South Africa saying, oh, they have black mambas, they have this, they have lions on the loose.
Yeah.
Well, we have a tiger we still haven't found.
You see? Huh? So
let's not forget there's still a tiger out there somewhere. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, and we're not talking about Gwede Mantashe because he's a tiger in bed.
The tiger. Oh, jeez. Ay.
Smallanyana skeletons.
Hey, everybody has their Smallanyana skeletons. But
all right.
Yeah,
we've only got a little bit of time before we get to our interview for this morning. And just by the way, I've received some useful information here from somebody who's listening to the show and says you must never grab the snake if you get bitten. Antivenom doesn't work like that for the treatment of snake bites. We mainly use polyvalent antivenom, which covers a few snakes like the black mamba, green mamba, Cape cobra, snouted cobra, forest cobra, gaboon adder, a puff adder, rinkels. There's a specific antivenom for boomslangs, but apparently in most of the hospitals and clinics in South Africa, they do know what to do. So you don't take Bakh'abantu's terrible advice and
no, that's in Australia. You do that in Australia.
No, okay, Australia, yeah.
Bring your rural Eastern Cape bullshit here because we don't need your advice. Thank you.
Like we're not on the mountain here, Bakh'abantu.
Hey,
we're not on the mountain, exactly. Thank you, Mash. We're going to miss your sensible approach.
Gareth and corporate Mash teaming up against the guy from the Eastern Cape.
Look, Bakh'abantu, just go to your boma.
You're now called corporate Mash. I love that.
Corporate Mash.
Oh, GCPCM.
Mash didn't sell out. He bought in.
And I'm cashing out.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Hey, and then there's one more thing that I actually wanted to share with you guys. It's a restaurant in Las Vegas. This is actually the most viral restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip. And basically, they serve the most ridiculous looking food. You guys already know by now that America is well known for being one of the most unhealthiest countries out there. And this is no exception. This restaurant in Las Vegas is taking Italian food to a whole other level. Some people may like it, some people may not. I'm personally on the edge, but I think let's roll the video and so you guys can actually decide for yourselves.
You can decide. So this is how do we describe this? The worst, most viral. Let's just say the most
viral restaurant.
This is the most viral Italian restaurant in Las Vegas. They make everything from scratch. And wait until you see what they make at the end. You have never seen it anywhere else. People always get mad in the comments on videos about a mono pizza in Italian cuisine, but it's because it's an American-Italian fusion and excess is the name of the game. If you like your food extra saucy and extra seasoned, this is for you. They are known for taking their fresh loaves of Italian bread and stuffing them with house-made pastas and sauces. This is their pizza baby. They take an entire cheese or pepperoni pizza, fill it with the pasta and sauce of your choice, and then top it with even more sauce and melted cheese. My favorite combo is the cheese pizza with pasta carbonara and a pesto sauce on top. This is obviously not diet food. This is vacation food. You go here when you want to indulge. This place is off strip, but it's worth a trip.
Mash, you seem to be on a bit of a mission with food this morning. What's going on with you? You've never brought so much food content to the show.
Hey, he's very hungry. I think the corporate job is like he's gave him the promise of food. It's one of your benefits, like a food credit card.
How I wish. No, my passion.
What are we meant to take from this? I mean, this does not look like healthy food. That's for sure. It does look good. I won't take that away from you, but not healthy.
But it's just a reminder of how Americans are just taking cuisine from all over the world. And it's only a matter of time until we see South African cuisine being taken by Americans like bobotie, with just a shitload of cheese, and it's just all runny and disgusting. And I wanted to find out if there's anybody in the audience as well, anybody with Italian heritage or is from an Italian family how do they feel? I want to know from an actual Italian more than anything. How do you feel seeing this done to your food? Maybe they might be like, this is awesome. We've always wanted, to commercialize a bun with pasta inside.
Italians are very stuffy about this stuff. You should see the pizza in Italy. Like Gareth can attest to this. Like the pizza in Italy, doesn't even have cheese on top. It's not. You know how we make pizza?
Yeah.
There's New York Italian pizza. That's different to Italian pizza.
I got to ask you both this. Do you think South Africans make things worse or better? Because from what I can tell from that most viral restaurant in America, they're taking what is already good food. There's nothing wrong with a pizza, and we've discussed what you are and what you aren't allowed to put on a pizza. Some people think it's absolute heresy to put pineapple on a pizza. I heard you guys had some pizza the other day where they'd put avo on, but they'd put the avo in the oven with the pizza, which is outrageous. That's gonna be disgusting, right?
Doesn't it turn black?
Exactly.
There's nothing appealing about that.
No. So do you think in South Africa we make it worse or better when we do this to food? Because I think of things like that. One of the pizza restaurants in South Africa puts like a sausage around the outside.
And mayonnaise. Yeah.
And
no.
And they double deck it. I think that is disgusting. You should be put out of business for doing that.
This is the problem. This is the problem I have with South African food. We don't have pizza and whatnot. We don't have fried chicken. We have Kentucky. Kentucky is not fried chicken.
Kentucky.
Kentucky is not fried chicken. If you want fried chicken, you go to a proper restaurant and they fry it for you. But if you want Kentucky, you go to Kentucky. If you want that situation, triple decker situation, that's not pizza, my friend. That is, how can I name it? Yeah, that's Debonnaise.
It's fast food.
It's fast food. Yeah, exactly. If you want real pizza, it's the wood oven. It's that stuff. It's the crust, it's the base and the whatnot.
But that pizza is not as good as the one with the triple deckers and the sausage and the mayonnaise.
That's called unculturedness, Mash.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Mash, you're going to corporate. You should learn the stuff.
So you two, I'm judging. Then I'm guessing you think we make it worse, not better.
Yeah. No. We take. If you go to a proper restaurant, you get good food. But if you go in a fast food joint, like you don't go to McDonald's for a burger, you go to McDonald's for McDonald's. McDonald's doesn't taste like anything. If you want a burger, go to a burger joint.
Right.
But I think us as South Africans, we do make things better. But the thing is, we don't have much to go off on. What food can we really point to from other cultures throughout the world that's popular here in South Africa, apart from pizza? There's not much.
We don't have a lot of our own stuff.
Yeah, we don't.
We can can say like maybe boerewors, and we could say bobotie, which you spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
But we really, I mean, I know that we're going to get into such shit here because I'm not a foodie and I don't know what I'm talking about in this respect. And the real foodies are going to say to us, like Anna Trapido we had on the other day, and Lebang loves this stuff. She loves talking about it, and you clearly do too, Mash. But I don't want to waste like any more time with us. Bakh'abantu, you strike me as being a lot like me. You're not like you know what good food is, but you don't think about it all the time.
Oh no, Gareth. I'm a big cook. I'm a big cook. So I like good food. It's like, so my version of KFC is Korean fried chicken. That's like the best thing I've had in a while.
So
where do you have that?
Oh wait, I'll plug them.
To eat person.
Sorry?
Are you an eat to live or a live to eat person?
Oh, okay. So I changed my diet. So I'm a live to eat person. I don't have breakfast. I don't cut out milk. I cut out sugar. Don't go full gym bro vibes, but I need a vegetable. I need a starch. I need a protein.
So you eat to live.
Yeah, I eat to live. But then once in a while, I'll have that nice burger.
Live to eat.
Yeah. But I'm not like you, Mesh, looking at the tables with the bones. Not there.
Yeah.
Am I even getting? What do you mean?
I still think I've got to say, like, that's still funny as hell that you and your friends went up to this table and there was just a pile of bones. That's horrible.
It is traumatic to say the least. But yeah.
All right. Well, Mash, we wish you well. We've only got a couple of minutes left of the show this morning. Is there anything you would like to say to the rest of the crew here? I mean, this is your chance to either say something nice or horrible about Simpiwe and Bang and Dari and Ryan and Homolemo and Bakh'abantu.
No, you went very fast on Khumulemo there. She's like, yeah.
I have a lot to say.
I have a lot to say. They won't get you, Mash. You're going corporate
it's your
now.
chance, Mash. Let's go.
Well, I'm going to start off with Aus Jane. She's always been my girl. And she's always been my girl, always outing me, she knows all my business. She knows everything that I'm up to. And I'm going to miss her a lot. She's one person I'm going to miss so much. And then going on to Ryan. Ryan is very interesting. Y'all think I like food. I hope Ryan doesn't have a kidney stone soon and he just at some point drinks water. I hope next time I come back here, Ryan will have drank some water for once. Simpiwe, I hope she just continues gymming. She better continue gymming and pushing that gym hun lifestyle because it's really working for her. I see her dipping and doing it. And she's booked and busy lately. Hey, you can't get a hold of her. And, and then Lebang, our scammer queen. The first time I saw Lebang was on Twitter. Lebang was trending. This was before she even came to CliffCentral. I was like, who is this woman? I remember the word Versace trending. And I was like, why is Versace trending? And okay, let me see. It was Lebang who wrote a thread on Twitter saying that I got scammed at Mall of Africa. I was walking to Versace. I got scammed out of 15,000 Rand, blah, blah, blah. And everybody was attacking her on Twitter going like, Mall of Africa doesn't have Versace. What do you mean? So that's one thing I'm always going to remember about her, our scammer queen. From the moment I met her to literally this week, she's just been getting scammed. So, good luck, Lebang. And then Homolemo, Homolemo is very quiet, doesn't talk to us much. All we know is that he's Khumulemo.
No. What we know about Khumulemo, guys, let me just load you up. Mash, don't sell this man short. He's Aaron to the people.
Aaron, yes.
AJ to the ladies. Double A to the gents. That's Khumulemo right there.
That's what he calls himself, which translates to battery for thirst, by the way, for those who didn't know. And then to yourself, Bakh'abantu, I'm so excited that you're back finally, and I think you're gonna be doing some awesome stuff, achieving some amazing stuff here, and I'm really excited to actually watch that from the sidelines while dipping in every now and then. And yeah, above all to you, Gareth. Doing this show has been so much fun. And I have to say, you guys actually helped me find my own confidence, because I always told Rena, actually, no, I told Rena a few weeks ago that Rena, I tried not to cry, but now okay. I said, Rena, when I came here, I could barely string a sentence together. I was like, just like all the time,
Harris.
I was like, Kamala Harris. I was just like, yeah, the burden all the time. And because I was always working in the back, where I used to work, in all the other companies I used to work at, I used to be like what do you call them? The like kitchen stuff, the people are always in the back, don't talk to anyone. They're like, the system has to be up, this has to be built. Hey, go do this, go do that.
You're never a front man.
Yes. So coming here actually allowed me the opportunity to be the front man and to be the main character in my story as well. So that's something I'm always going to be grateful for. That's something I will always cherish for the rest of my life. And overall, yeah, let's be merry. Let's be merry. And yeah.
Oh, Mash, this is our first show together, but like my parting words to you, man, live free and breathe strong, and never forget, I can only imagine what can be, unburdened by what has been.
Absolutely that. Yeah, what has been.
All right. That's to bring it crashing back down to earth. All right, everybody, listen, it's 7:00. We'll be back with a pretty awesome interview. Good luck to Mash. We'll keep in touch. We'll have him on the show again soon. Best of luck, Mash, says Rebellious Ruth, of course, is the chairperson of the comment section. You go for it and keep your nose clean of office politics. You'll go far. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Jane has not set a brilliant example in terms of office politics, but yes, good advice from Rebellious Ruth. All right, everybody, we'll see you in a second. We've got an interview with Vatiswa Ndara, who is a really interesting person. My God, you're going to be blown away by some of the things she talks about. So stick around for that and a whole lot more. CliffCentral.com, Wednesday, the 28th of June.
Every time you listen to that 80s show, Tom Cruise lives another 10 years. Every Friday on CliffCentral.com, Paolo and Dory review movies, reminisce about old songs, remember childhood places that are now car parks, and say some outrageously rude things about Patrick Swayze's brother. That 80s show, new episode every Friday, live or as a podcast on CliffCentral.com.
This week on the Auto Trader podcast.
I like this terminology thing. A lot of people don't understand these things, and quite often when people read something, they Google's a big benefit now because you can just quickly Google it on your phone.
Yeah.
But in 10, 20 years ago, somebody said something like, "What is MIDP?" and you didn't know, you wouldn't ask.
Exactly. was about to say exactly that. I think a lot of people go to the dealership. They do their research. I think a lot of people do research, but you don't know what you don't know, right? So they just get there and they told a bunch of stuff, lots of terminology, lots of terms, and they don't want to, just say, what does that mean?
Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
All right. You can check out the Auto Trader show on cliffcentral.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And the same goes for Beyond Madness. Employee wellness is obviously a key component of organizational effectiveness. Everybody knows this, and every company talks about mental health now. They have to, right? It's become a very trendy and interesting subject for people to discuss at work. And companies are dealing with ill health, absenteeism, impaired functioning, awareness, understanding. All of this stuff comes into play. There's no one better to handle it and to talk you through it than our own Professor Chris Szabo, who is, he's one of the smartest people. This week on Beyond Madness, we've got Psychiatry in the Workplace. It's brought to you in proud association with Adcock Ingram OTC. The sponsors are brave. You can listen wherever you get your podcasts there. So put that one in your playlist and you will thank me later. Vatiswa Ndara is a well-known name in South African media. She's been in radio and television. She's an actress. She's a radio presenter. She's somebody who has garnered an enormous amount of, I wouldn't say hate, but a lot of opprobrium from people in, I don't know, the industry that she's in. I've never had a problem with Fatisa. I've always thought that she was lovely. She's bubbly. She's got an enormous amount of self-confidence. I thought it'd be great to catch up with her. And when we first approached her, she said, look, I'm not ready to talk. I'm writing a book. There are going to be a lot of names named. I'm going to go hard. I'll wait until then. I'll come and talk to you. And I said, cool, no problem. You just tell us when. And eventually the other day she did. And some of the things that she had to say were pretty startling. I mean, if you're not in the South African TV industry, if you're not in radio in South Africa, if you don't know how these things work, some of what she's about to say may shock you. For other people, it'll be like oh no, here's another person in media complaining about their lives. There are people who have much tougher lives. You can decide. But I think Vatiswa certainly explained her story in her own words better than many of her detractors would. And I found her to be a really cool guest and someone who also had a sense of humor about herself, which to me always proves that someone is worth a second thought and worth a second look. And if you've made up your mind about Vatiswa already, maybe this will improve your thoughts about her. I don't know. You've got to make your own mind up, which is always what we say on this show. Here she is, without further ado, Vatiswa Ndara on cliffcentral.com. Well, it's always lovely to have someone who is a fellow entertainment person in the studio, someone who's done radio, television, and a lot of other stuff. She is a real talent, a South African actress, media personality, began her career as a newsreader at Radio Transkei. She's also worked as a presenter at other radio stations, including Kai FM, Metro, 5FM, and 947. Her acting career really took off when she was offered the role of Mamfundisi in Generations. She's since starred in various television shows, including Home Affairs, Society, Muvhango, and many, many more. She also appeared in the 2019 film Salvation. In 2019, she also wrote a 6-page letter to the minister, Natin Tetwa, who was the Minister of Arts and Culture at the time, which was posted on Twitter. In the letter, she alleged that Connie and Shona Ferguson's company, Ferguson Films, had mistreated many actors in the entertainment industry. It went viral and sparked many online debates. And she's not afraid to get into a whole lot of debates herself. She is Vatiswa Ndara. How are you?
I'm good. It's a French surname. Ndara.
Ndara. There we go. When you say it, people think, Ndara? Where's the Ndara? How are you, Fatisa?
I'm great, Gareth. Good to see you. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, nice to have you here. And there's so much to talk about. I mean, really, you wrote this book, which is called Unfiltered.
Yeah.
And it says here, my unglamorous odyssey in the world of South African entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, you are not the kind of person who leaves anything lying on the cutting room floor. You're happy to share it all.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
it depends on the person. I mean, I think that's why we're all different. And for me, it's about speaking the truth the way it is. And you don't just go out of your way and decide one day, I'm just going to tell the truth. Something pushes you to do something like that. And I was certainly pushed to that point. And I think it was time for people to hear my side of the story, because I'm sure, as you see in the book, this has been going on for a long time. The exploitation, the bad treatment, all these kinds of things that I've gone through. And I kept quiet all these years. But now I felt, no, actually, it's time for people to hear my side of the story, because it's always the one side that people are getting.
And it seems like the media in general don't like a story where someone doesn't turn out to be some sort of villain, right? It's almost like, oh, well, if we're going to talk about Vatiswa, it's got to be like a bad story. It's going to be where she did something wrong, or she's the villain.
And most of the time, that's what's been happening with me. I've never been a media darling for whatever reason. And it's okay with me. I mean, many years ago, there was a list of the most boring celebrities, and I made number 2. They had a list of 10, and number 1 was Kanye Lomo. I laughed. And
I don't know if that's you, but you didn't want to be on that list, though.
No, well, for me, it was a compliment, because it was saying, okay, she's not out there doing nonsense all the time.
Oh, right. Okay. As in she might be sensible. That's why she's boring, in inverted commas.
So most of the time, stories that are written about me are fabrications. Like recently, Theo Nyaba went on and wrote a story about how bookstores don't want to sell my book. And you know how he approached this? He treats me like I'm a toddler. He says, I want to have a catch up with you. And I'm thinking, Theo, so I play along.
Who is he?
He's from Sunday. He's done Sunday World, Sunday Sun.
Okay. He's
now with Zimoja. There's a new one called Zimoja.
So the low rent journalists are a dime a dozen, huh? I mean, these people, they basically make a living digging through other people's rubbish. This is the truth.
And the thing is, they make it up most of the time. Because
so he calls you and says, let's have a catch up. But you can see through this, right?
And I'm like, but I'm not even friends with him.
I'm not your friend.
Yeah, I'm not his friend.
Catch up with you.
And he says, and I said text, because I don't speak to them. I don't write it down so I can say, but I never said this. This is what I said.
Right.
And so.
Because you're so used to being misquoted. I mean, this is the sadness.
Yeah.
And we got to get into your whole story, because people, I mean, I gave a little introduction about kind of what you've done and where you've been. It's a very impressive CV. And, you know, you've earned your place in South Africa's story, and your story is worth telling, which is why you've written the book and why you continue to be someone people are interested in. I mean, the day the journalists stop calling, then I suppose either you're going to breathe a sigh of relief and go, oh, thank God, they've finally forgotten about me, or you go, oh, now I'm irrelevant. Depends on how you feel.
It's the former.
You would be happy to breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I think my journey has just been so unpleasant and it's so weird that I'm in this industry and all I've ever wanted was just to do my work and go and sit in my little corner. I don't mind people.
You're not an attention seeker.
I don't like it at all.
Then, okay, so where did it all start to unravel? Was it when you wrote that letter to Natim Tetwa? Because I think it was before that.
It was way before that. It was way before that. And that's why when I was offered 120 after so many years.
120,000.
120,000 Rand, yes.
Right. That was for a year.
It was
a project.
It was for a 5-week shoot for an entire season of Igazi, which was going to be on Mzansi Magic, the 3rd season. And understand that
because so a lot of people, they'll hear that and go, "Ooh, 120,000 sounds pretty good for 5 weeks."
Right? They don't understand. Break it down. You have to pay 25% tax. The agent is going to take 13, 15%. You're left with what? 85,000. And probably that's the only job you're going to get that year. Or it's one you have, you know, you've been dying to get work and all of a sudden you're given this. That kind of money, I think in South Africa would work for per episode.
You know what sickens me is that people will think, oh, you know, Vatiswa's being greedy or whatever if they don't know what they're talking about. But when you just broke it down now, that's less than 10 grand a month if that's the only job you have for that year.
Yeah.
Further to that, it's also kind of shows you the state of South African entertainment. That's what you're going to get paid if you're in a really great production.
Yes.
This is one of the top-rated productions in the country, one of the best production companies, and that's all you can get.
And people think,
when people come up to you and they go, I want to be an actor, I want to be an actor, what do you say to them? Because if this is the reality of acting, you can't very well say to them, follow your dream, honey, you're going to get there.
You know what I say to most of them? Leave. Go do it in another country.
Oh my God, that's very depressing, but it's true, right? You're not lying to them.
No, I'm not. And I mean, there was one of the older actors last year. I'll mention him because he was very open about this. Vatiswa Ndara. He did a show called Imzinwezi Nsizwa. And he asked people for help. He needed money for rent. This is a person who still can't afford to buy his own home. He's still renting. And the comments were like, what has he done with his money?
There was no money.
There's never been money.
So, okay. I mean, who is making money in entertainment? Because otherwise that wouldn't be a business.
Exactly.
So who are the ones who are making the money? Is it the production companies? Is it the commissioning channels?
It's the channels, obviously, producers and agents. For me, that's the only explanation, because agents have got thousands of actors on all these productions. That's why you can phone your agent and they're like, oh no, don't speak to me now, I'm on holiday. And you think, I've never had a holiday. I've never been able to afford a holiday. And this is why you're going to have producers posting lavish homes and, you know, they're living the life.
But I mean, it's like, it's not fair, right? So let's just, for a second, I'm going to be devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
You can find actors. You kick under a rock or a bush, an actor will pop out and say, hi, I'm available.
Right. And they do
so
say
they're not
that.
difficult to find.
Yeah.
The people who actually can put a show together, that's a lot harder work. They're much rarer people. And then the channels, there are only a few of those that can afford to commission these shows.
Who makes your show? Because what happens, Gareth, though? Because and we're going to look at why they make it work in other countries. There's got to be a balance. And this is why.
I'm not saying an act is an unimportant part of this.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to bring the other side of the argument that the people who actually make it possible for the actors to do their work are the ones who've commissioned and produced the shows.
Yeah.
And that is rarer just by numbers. So for every one producer, you get 100 actors, right?
Yes.
And there's a reason for that, because it's damned hard to do. And also, while these people are making money, you have to really know what you're about here, because catering costs, venue hire, set design, scheduling, being able to, you know, do travel arrangements for the various people who are involved in the show. This is all complicated stuff that you need a business brain for. And I'm not saying actors don't have a business brain, but a lot of them don't. You know what I mean?
But there is a but. Because as I hear your argument and I hear your point, but at the end of the day, what budgets are being allocated for all this stuff? Are budgets being allocated to make actors poor? Because why is it in other countries? I mean, here in Ghana, they're doing better than us. And it's in
Nigeria, Nollywood.
I mean, well, Nollywood has been there much longer than us, I think. Or probably the same.
No.
But there are younger industries that are doing better than us. How is that possible?
Do you think, and this is a really hard question because I have this conversation with people often, do you think South Africa really doesn't have respect for its artists? I mean, we think about Miriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela, Johnny Clegg. You know, you hear that story about Joy, Paradise Road. You think about the great actors and actresses of the past 30, 40 years. And it hit home during COVID, remember? When suddenly all of those people were penniless.
Right.
And there was no one to save them. And, you know, that's when government were useless. They didn't hand out a single solitary cent to anyone who needed it. And many actors, actresses, singers, actors, entertainers just disappeared. Many of them probably starved. It's not an unrealistic thing to imagine that some of those people were moving in with relatives, begging, really at the lowest of the low.
We're really not. I don't think. I even think ministers who are put in in arts and culture take that as a demotion.
Yeah, it's not an important portfolio, and they don't care about it.
Exactly.
They're not interested in.
That's
most
why,
of them haven't ever, you know, actually appreciated a good book, let alone gone to a play, watched a show.
they don't know what's going on.
No.
They don't take time. And you see them in their fancy suits. How about, I mean, we can look at Fikile Mbalula and laugh that he goes visiting and what. Maybe everyone else should do the same. How's about Minister of Arts and Culture?
Who's the current minister? Do we even know?
Of Arts and Culture?
Yeah, I mean, like, because it changes all the
Zizi Kodwa.
Aibo.
I even know that.
Aibo. No, well, I'm impressed you know it. I'm not embarrassed that I know who Zizi Kodwa is.
Yes, but you didn't know.
What does he know about arts and culture? Sipping the tea. That's the thing you're doing right now. For those people who are listening, not watching. All right, Vatiswa, there's so much to cover here, and I don't want us to get lost in the reads.
Yeah.
Why is it that you become the poster girl for like criticizing? The entertainment industry deserves to be criticized. I was putting up a devil's advocate argument here about, you know, the actors, sometimes they're their own worst enemy, and that is true. But you catch a huge amount of grief and strife.
I do.
For saying what you say. Why? Why do you think people hate you rattling the cage? Do they not like you? I don't think you're a horrible person. I've spent time around you. You're not a nasty person.
I ask this all the time, and no one is coming forward to say the reason we hate Vatiswa as channels, as producers, agents, and actors is because there are actors who actually don't like me. You will hear people saying,
so what do you do? Come and like you shit in their trailer? I mean, like, what are you doing?
At least if I was doing stuff like that.
So it's just so weird that
it is
that because you have, and I'm not making too much of a thing of this, and you're the first to admit it. You do in your book. They're just all these people who don't like you. I don't think it's entirely fair.
Gareth, at least if I knew what I'd done.
Do you think you've been an umtagati's cursed you or something?
No, it's not even that.
It's not that.
It's not. I mean,
Did
a lot
you
of
piss off the wrong people? Because sometimes, you know, most people are followers; they're not leaders. And if someone says, "No, Vatiswa is blacklisted," which you know has happened with you, right? You've written about it in the book.
Yeah, I mean, only recently someone was trying to do a documentary. And they said to me, look, we want to do this with you. We're going to pay you. It's for Showmax. And I said, good luck. Showmax is part of multi-choice. They're not going to allow you guys to do that. Oh, no, but we're going to have a meeting, blah, blah, blah. And I said, are you sure? She only came back to me like 2 weeks later. And she was kind of scared to call me and say, you told me so. She was told, no, get somebody else. At least this time they didn't say, no, Vatiswa is difficult. They talked about red tape and legal processes. And I said, what legal processes?
You're not in any court case against multi-choice?
No.
I had a court case against them, and I'm not as hated. Well, I don't know. Maybe I am. But here's the thing, right? And I need to get to the bottom of this, because there'll be people asking, people who know you, people who know of you, who'll be saying, I don't understand this like I have.
Yeah.
But then there'll also be people who don't know you, who have no idea of why you and I are sitting here talking about this, why you've written a book. You seem to also, I mean, Connie and Shona Ferguson, powerful people, right? In the the TV business, movie business. And have you ever had communications with them since you wrote that letter?
No.
They don't talk. Well, I mean, Shauna's obviously no longer here, but Connie, not a word.
No. And the unfortunate thing about the letter is that, yes, I mentioned Ferguson Films, but there was a whole lot more. I was saying the industry is falling apart. So people decided to make it about them. And the unfortunate thing is that they went along with that and threatened legal action against me, And I feel that would have been an opportunity for them to say, you know what, we as producers have these challenges as well from channels, because that's the narrative that they give us as actors. Channels don't give us budgets and this and that. They could have said that maybe, or tell their side of the story instead of threaten me with legal action.
But you see, you broke a rule which you're not supposed to break.
I don't know the rules.
You're clever. So, okay, there aren't really rules. But you can throw around allegations about this and that. And you can say this person is a shitty payer and this person doesn't treat people with respect. But the moment you mention names, then suddenly... First of all, if you don't mention names, no one cares. But when you do mention names, it's all about that.
I know. You mention names, oh, she's an attention seeker, blah, blah, blah. And it's the same, even if you don't mention names. So then why didn't you mention names?
No, you should mention. And you listen. You don't leave a lot of names out. I mean, you're prepared to mention names. And there are things that you have held back on because you have been threatened with legal action and all kinds of other things. But to single out Connie and Shono is not right, because that's not all you talk about in your book.
No.
And so people are focused on that, but that is not what you were trying to say.
People think actually the book is about the Fergusons.
No, it's really not.
I'm so glad you are telling them, because a lot of people, there's a journalist, her name is Ntsiki Noia. Apparently someone went to her. Yeah, this is a colleague of hers who's read the book and said, look, Vatiswa, I want people to read your book. I'm shocked. I went to Ntsiki, and I've never met Ntsiki. I went to Ntsiki and I said, you need to buy this book. And she says, Vatiswa's book, I'll never buy Vatiswa's book, because we know how silly she is, how arrogant, how she makes life, And this one says, oh, have you experienced anything? No, we hear these things. Now, the worry in that for me, Gareth, is that this is a journalist.
These are the people we ask to bring us the news, to tell us the truth.
That's the worry for me. How many other people are going to believe Ntsiki? She's heard. She's never experienced anything.
Is this a question of South Africans not supporting the entertainment business, or low quality journalism, or both?
Both. Both.
All right. How are you doing? I mean, like, how are you doing now? Because, as you said, there's certain shows, channels, producers that won't touch you for whatever reason. Let's just park that for a moment. They'll say they have reasons. They'll never tell you what those are. But are you struggling for work?
I don't have work. For 4 years, I haven't been working now. And you know what? I've made peace with it. And what's making me even feel better is the fact that I've told my side of the story.
So it was cathartic to write.
Yeah, it really, really was. I think now for me, it's the healing process. I've started the journey of healing, because it's a lot that I've been carrying, and being pushed to write this book, which I never thought or imagined that I would ever write, was the best thing that's ever happened. I might never get work again, which is okay. But
so what are you doing to live? Because that's all good and well.
Yeah,
that you're being brave and it's been cathartic and you're feeling like you're on a healing path. And I know your son's overseas.
He's he's getting ready to leave again. He just qualified as a chartered accountant. Yay. The only good thing about me.
Oh no, come on. No, don't beat yourself up. But I mean, he is overseas now, and You especially wanted to get him out as well.
I did.
Because you thought this is a toxic environment for him
to
have to be in with you, right?
Yeah.
Which is a hard thing for a mother to actually say to their kid, listen, go. I mean, you'd love to have him around, right?
I would have loved to spend a lot of time. And as you can see in the book, I never got to have that time with my son. But we have a special bond, and I'm glad.
So what are you doing to live if you're not doing acting work, if you're not working in entertainment?
There's some guardian angels out there.
Really? That's incredible. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not always easy, but there are people, one or two people are just looking out for me. I mean, my brother was fired, and he was one of the people that was helping me. He also doesn't have a reason as to why he was fired by Ronald Lamola and Patekile Olomisa. They woke up one day and just fired him. So we just have all this crazy stuff going.
Can I just throw in as an aside here, and this has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But I think part of our problem in this country is we've forgotten what merit is. We've forgotten what the good and the bad are. And so everyone is insecure because people aren't sure why they got the job. Well, maybe I got it because I'm ANC. Maybe I got it because I'm black, because I'm white, because I'm colored, because I'm Indian. Maybe I got it because I know this person. When you give someone a job on that basis, they're always going to be insecure.
Exactly.
Because they're never really
Exactly.
sure. Is it because I'm a good actress? Well, I don't know, because I know this producer.
Yeah.
And that's how it works in this place.
That's
and it
exactly
frustrates the hell out of me.
And that's why in one conversation I talked about leadership, where we need to have audits, intellectual audits, and all those things, and make sure that people are prepared to take these jobs.
Just so they know, I have this job because I'm good at it.
Exactly.
Not I have this job for some bizarre, mysterious reason.
And that's how we operate in this country, unfortunately. Because you will hear people saying, but who does Vatiswa hang out with? And that's one of the problems. Those are some of the things that I've heard that, but she's not in with. I don't suck up to the right people.
Well, that's exactly the problem. I mean, that's fine for high school. But if you're doing that in your adult life, and South Africa's entire economy and political system is built on who you suck up to. And you know this, and it's another thing that irritates the hell out of me, is everyone is saying either as little as possible so they don't get into trouble, so they can keep suckling on the teeth that they're on, or they say the things they don't believe, but that get their paymasters to be happy. Now, let me tell you something. If 1994 was about freeing people, we've put them in chains again.
Oh, yeah.
Because the entertainment industry, and this is why I love talking to you, is this is just a small window into how the rest of it all works. Because it's not just entertainment. This is how it works in big auditing firms, banks, NGOs, government. It's all about who you know, how prepared are you to compromise your own principles. Shut up when you're told to have sex with that one. If you don't, you won't hold on to your job.
Yeah.
This is slavery. That's all that is.
It is.
Right?
It is. It's like they took over from the other oppressors. We want to be in those positions to oppress the very people that were oppressed before anyway.
So, okay, I mean, there's a lot to take in here. So where are you now in terms of, have you given up on acting? Have you given up on entertainment in general? Or are you still hopeful that something's going to come up? What needs to change? What are you doing to change it? Because you're not just sitting on your hands. You've written this book.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the book out there, and I think that's my sole focus.
By the way,
now.
let's give it a plug. It's called Unfiltered, My Unglamorous Odyssey in the World of South African Entertainment.
Yes,
and this is not your first book. You also wrote another book, I Am Because of You.
Oh, yeah.
Which you published a while ago. So people need to look at these, pay attention. Here, Fatiswa's books. So she's trying to get them out there. We're trying to help her get them out there. And if you're interested in the whole of her story, you can go and read them. But there are also parts of this that you do leave out because they're still very tender, and because there are people who could be implicated that could get you into very serious trouble.
I think I've put the biggest things out there. let me just go back to what we spoke about earlier. And I think I mentioned it in the book. My suspicion, my problems started with the sexual harassment thing.
Right. Now let's go there, because I think that is the foundation of a lot of this.
Yeah. I believe it is, because it's after that things went out of control.
Now, you wouldn't be the first actress who's been sexually harassed, but tell me how it happened with you.
I was still at the SABC. I just started out broadcasting, and I wanted to do SABC 3 News back in 1998. And the gentleman was head of news, Temam Tembu, was like, I need to invite him to my place for dinner and coffee. And when that didn't happen, I lost my contracts. And I was fighting this thing, and everyone was looking at me, even the women, And so for me, what the funny looks I got was saying, but this happens all the time. Jeez. What's wrong with you?
When Harvey Weinstein and that whole Me Too thing came up in Hollywood, I was more interested in which actresses weren't saying anything, because which ones are going to make a noise, the ones who either turned him down bravely and said, this is not going to happen, or the ones who weren't really a consideration anyway and were making a noise and hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
The ones you didn't hear from are the ones who probably gave in. And it's amazing how those women either went silent or defended Weinstein. Right? And nobody's talking about that, because he's as bad as it gets in terms of entertainment. And that's on a massive Hollywood scale. But in this country, we've heard rumors here, rumors there about people in the entertainment business.
And no one's doing anything about it.
Okay, so you didn't even find that many allies among the women?
No.
At the SABC at the time?
No. None whatsoever. But the beauty about it is that I've always gone into battle by myself. For some reason, I've always believed it's safer to do that. Stand on your own. If people want to help and join you, they will. Never force people to say, guys, I'm going to fight this now, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't help anybody.
Man, there are so many black women in this country are fighting on their own.
It's difficult for them to reach out. They don't know who's who. You lose trust, Gareth. There's no trust. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons I would never set foot on another set. I've got serious trust issues now. If I set foot on a set, what are they going to do? Poison my food? Are they setting me up for failure? I'm paranoid now.
Have you ever gone for therapy?
After that, I attempted suicide after one of.
How did you attempt? What were you going to do to kill yourself?
Oh, when I was at the SABC back in the day, they used to have a psychologist there. They don't have that anymore. So I visited her, and she sent me to see a psychiatrist, Dr. Gosh, I forgot his name.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was at some hospital, Garden City Hospital.
Did they ever put you on psychiatric meds?
Yeah, I could never do meds. I don't do meds. For me, it's like, I know what needs to happen. So I was okay afterwards, because I went home to my mom and whatever else.
Was this after the sexual harassment, or was it
this
a whole
was
lot of
after.
other things?
This was after sexual harassment. Okay. I went home when all my contracts were terminated and I was only left with Metro FM. So I went home and then I came back, and that's when I got into 94.7, got Generations. I lost that gig, and I thought, okay, no, this is not the kind of life that I want.
What were your biggest concerns? Your son? Obviously.
My son, I couldn't, because he was now living with me in Joburg.
And he was a teenager.
He was 12 at the time.
12.
He was 12.
So you couldn't leave him. That must have been a factor against the suicide.
He was there. that weekend, but with my brother when I attempted the suicide. So I packed him for the long weekend because he had a long weekend. I thought, perfect time to do it. And I put all the poisonous stuff together, and I thought when he comes back, he'll find Mummy's corpse.
What were you going to do? Overdose?
I put some, these cleaning things, Jay's fluid, Jick, and a whole lot of pills in there. Mixed all that up, and I drank it.
You must have been so sick.
Afterwards.
Violently ill, right? Did you go to hospital? Who found you?
Gareth, I woke up the following morning. I couldn't believe that
You'd lived.
I did live, and I was angry that I lived. This thing was supposed to kill me. How the hell did it knocked me out for a long time though. And when he came back, he could see something was wrong. And there wasn't much I had.
But hang on, you drink this poisonous cocktail.
Yeah.
Of really dangerous substances, and you don't die.
I don't die.
You don't even go to hospital the next day.
I couldn't, because I was scared that one thing that wasn't here, they're going to take my son away.
Oh my God.
I'm going to be committed. It's going to be a whole lot. I was sick for a while. There was no one I could tell. I had to nurse myself back to health. And this is why I say in the book, one day my body is still going to tell its own story about that day, because I don't know what damage has been done. But I'm sure there is. So
that is horrible.
Because I just couldn't see a way out. And in my mind, this is what I need to do. No one could have talked me out of that. No one. I knew my son would be better off without me. That was the only thing that was going through my head.
And obviously, subsequently, you've told the story, but how does he respond to that? How's your relationship changed since he's discovered this? It hasn't?
It hasn't. It's actually, he feels bad. I mean, even...
Oh, no.
He
That's a guilt he doesn't need.
No, and it's I think one thing he's always saying to people, he wants to make me proud. He doesn't know how proud I tell him all the time. I tell him all the time how proud I am of him. But he's a very strong person, and he's living his life, and I want him to. I want the best for him. That's why I say he must go out there and experience the world.
And what about you besides money? I mean, like, have you had romantic relationships? How do you find happiness? I mean, like, what gives you the motivation to carry on now? Because thank God that cup that we just gave you now isn't bleach and pills. And, I know you're not trying to kill yourself, but I admire you so much for keeping going. What is keeping you going?
Hope. That I still have a lot to offer. That little belief keeps on cropping up in my head, even on the darkest days. And I always believe that it's still going to happen. You've still got a lot to offer. You will act one day, whether it's in South Africa or not. But you still got things to do. And I do.
Yeah.
And gym, working out.
Well, you're in good shape. I mean, that's a good thing. You're kind of an actress who's letting herself go, even if she's not acting at the moment. But there's no chance for your life to turn to romance at the moment.
No.
There's none of that. And you said you're paranoid. You don't trust anybody.
I'm cool alone. I still need to live and experience life by myself. And be happy with me, because that's the biggest thing. I could never be of any use to anybody.
And are you
happy with myself?
Yeah.
50-50. It depends on the day.
Throwing the dice, eh? I mean, when you woke up this morning, how did you feel?
I woke up this morning, funny that I thought, why does Gareth want to talk to me? I'm such a boring person.
Well, you were on that boring list. I mean, let's never forget. I actually, you know what? We're going to end this interview quickly. I don't know why the hell I'm even bothering with you. You're so boring. You're on the list and everything. Just can it. Get out of here, Vatiswa.
Oh, gosh. But on my way, I was like, you know what? Just go out there and, enjoy it.
Do you think that we have a very particular thing in this country where we almost enjoy watching other people suffer because it makes our suffering seem less? It's like a Schadenfreude. That's what the Germans call it, right? Yes. I see this often, and I don't want to make a specific example of the black newspapers and press, but I have to say there's almost like a little bit of I've just heard this horrible story about this person. Right. And we've got to share those. Like you see the Thabo Bester story at the moment, how everyone's wrapped up in it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's because people aren't enjoying their own lives. And I think there's a lot of, like, as long as other people have it worse than me, I'll feel a bit better.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Oof.
I'm miserable. I've never
You see it on
been
Twitter
happy.
as well, right? That's the worst place, especially for you. I mean, next to Kanye Bao, I don't know who else gets as much. Kelly Kumalo, maybe. I mean,
really,
who else gets as much shit on Twitter as you do?
And you know what? I don't even engage. Do you know someone said I'm arrogant because I don't respond to those things?
Yeah, but you're
why?
bad if you do, bad if you don't. You can't win.
What's the point? Because if you've decided on me, if you've taken a stance against me or whatever it is, why should it be my job to try and convince you otherwise? Because
you were saying if people are miserable, and then I interrupted you.
Yeah, if people are miserable, they want everybody else to feel the misery. You've done nothing to them. I mean, look at my situation. Why?
It's like white people who gather around the braai and talk about their crime experiences. They do that, right? And I think, yeah, they do. But then, if you read the Sunday Sun, all you see is just other people's shittiness.
Yeah.
And if you go on Twitter, you see it on all sides.
But I've said something about it in the book. That.
That's why I'm asking about it.
Yeah. Why is it that most of the black papers, and then people say, no, it's because they don't know how to use money.
That's not true. I know lots. I interviewed a guy here this time last week who is so good at managing money. He also happens to be black.
Right?
He's built an enormous fortune. He's so clever.
Wow.
And his blackness is not the reason, nor is it not the reason that he's successful.
But people don't. You see, it's media. Media has so much power. People don't understand. It's a few, Gareth, who are going to say, I don't believe this. Oh, these journalists. But the large majority.
A lot of people believe everything they read.
Exactly. And that's the problem.
What do you think of Thabo Bester and Nandipa? Come on, while you're here, let me hear it from you. I know you've got opinions.
No, the thing is, you know what I said? I said, I'm so glad this guy did this to expose what country we live in. That was my first thinking. As expose as Thabo. That's what you've done. That we are a messed up country. That you could do this and get away with it for so long.
Yeah.
Good for you for showing us up to the world. Maybe now we'll start cleaning house.
How do you feel when you see government ministers or NGOs or the usual suspects every year talk about gender-based violence? Because you've had that in your life, as have so many women in this country. And I want to know whether you are feeling like, when they talk about it, good, it's awareness, or whether it drives you absolutely mad with anger. Or something in between. I mean,
ambivalent.
Are you? You just don't even feel anything anymore. Apathetic even. Lip service.
There's been so much of that. That's all that happens in this country. Lip service. I mean, I opened a rape case in 2019 and no one gave a damn.
No, didn't you actually get threatened for opening the rape case? They said, "Oh, are you sure you want to do this?"
Oh no, the one of the police officers in Rosebank said, "Why are you doing this? Do you want money?" And I was like,
"Yo."
And when I asked him why he was asking me that, he says, "No, because this guy's an advocate. You know, he knows the law. That's got nothing to do with anything." But I'll tell you, beginning of this year, because they heard that I've written a book and I talk about the rape and I mention the person's name, then the prosecutor calls me in.
Oh, so we've got some movement now.
Oh, no.
Things are happening.
No, the NPA refuses to prosecute.
Case. Really?
No reasons given, nothing. And I get this call a couple of weeks ago from the guy who was investigating. And he says, "Oh, Johan Schippers, the prosecutor, says he's not going to prosecute." So here's the thing. Yes, you've been raped, but so what? That's basically what he's saying.
And that's it. There's nothing else. You can't do anything about it.
No,
now.
they didn't even sit down with me to say, "Look, for these reasons."
And you're a fairly high profile person, so your chances of being heard are greater than the average woman. Like there's some woman in Guatemala or Soshanguve or somewhere never going to be heard.
No, never. Never. She probably walks in there and they say, "Oh, just leave us alone." I mean, if we have the kinds of ministers like the Minister of Justice who behaves this way, what are his subordinates supposed to do? These people don't care. Because the NPA falls under him. So they know they can get away with this thing. What's another rape case for a Vatiswa Ndara? She's wasting our time. Leave it.
GBV. There's that week in December, right?
What? And those things.
There's that week in December where they make speeches but
that's the most irritating thing. I wish they would just rather shut up.
Yeah.
And we hear that, oh, this has been done to benefit or to help women, who suffered GBV. But they talk and talk, and that's so irritating for me. I hate when they have all these speeches and it's like, "Oh, now it's Youth Day. Let's go and have a celebration." Shut up. Do something.
Yeah.
Rather.
Right. So if Connie Ferguson phoned right now. Hi, Vatiswa, it's Connie. What are you gonna say to her?
I just didn't expect that.
Sorry, I thought we were getting a bit depressing with all this bad news.
I know.
So what would you say to her?
Okay.
Hi, Vatiswa, it's Connie.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm alive. How are you?
I'm great.
Oh,
business is
good for you.
I'm paying actresses and actors a lot of money.
Wow, that's the first.
And that's where the call ends. Jesus. Is that what it would be? I think that's it. I don't think you're pretending. That's exactly how you'd handle it.
I probably would.
You'd be shocked though to hear from her.
I would. I don't think Connie is.
If Natim Tetra, hi, is that Vatiswa?
Who's this?
Former Minister of Arts and Culture, Natim Tetra.
Click.
I'm starting to see why people don't like you. I love the honesty, but you're going to be in trouble for the rest of your life. I've got bad news.
No.
Okay, so here's the question at the end of all of this.
Yeah.
Because people are sitting there now listening to you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure many people who didn't know about you now love you because of your... Here's a straightforward, principled woman, speaks her mind like we constantly taught we should. Oh, you should always say what's on your mind. Always tell people how you feel. Be honest,
Be
people
honest.
say to you. And then you are, and all it's done is cost you.
Right.
Would you rather, if you could rewind the clock back, would you rather be an unprincipled person who goes whichever way the wind blows, does what you're told, makes sure that you fit in, you don't upset, ruffle any feathers, and you'll get paid and you'll live a comfortable life? Or would you like to be the Vatiswa you are now?
I think I like the person that I am, because the minute you're given into that, you've lost your soul. You'll always be controlled. There's a guy who was telling me about someone who was paid off. And I said, but why don't they pay me off? Why can't they give me like 30 million to shut up?
I know.
And he says, do you think these people are mad? They know you're going to tell everybody. And I said, exactly. I'd say, look, guys, the reason I'm keeping quiet now is because I've been given 30 million. Because if I
But
shut
you would
up.
shut up for 30 million. I'd shut up for 30 million. It's a lot of money, hey? I'd shut up. I'd never do a show again. I'd shut this whole thing down.
For 100, I would.
100 million?
Yeah.
You're very greedy. No wonder Connie wouldn't pay you what you wanted. Very greedy. 100 million?
Listen,
Look,
generational
we don't even
wealth.
have to pay 100 million. You already go and tell the story.
Generational wealth.
All right. If you could snap your fingers now and be doing anything in the whole world, what would it be?
How can you ask
Work-wise.
me that? Yeah, be on a show like Succession.
Oh, wow. Good show, hey? Isn't that a great show? Yo, scripting is so good. Acting is so good. What a great show. I'm so glad I'm watching it. Season 4.
The last one.
I haven't watched the season 4. Don't spoil it for me.
Oh my gosh, you haven't?
No, I'm up to season 3.
Do you know when I started watching that show?
I love how we're bouncing around everywhere in this. Meant to be a profile interview on you and your book. Now we're talking about a favorite TV show. Go on.
I watched it, and after the 3rd episode, I stopped. I was like, these people, they're
Horrible,
weird.
horrible
They're
people,
horrible.
right.
What is it? I don't know who to like. And I had to park it.
You went back, though.
I went back, and I was glued.
What do you think of White Lotus?
Haven't.
Oh, you got to watch that.
Really?
Oh, if you want to see some horrible people. And
But that's a new
And the
format.
Smolanyana skeletons. Yo.
Really?
People have... See, there is something about you that will make everyone else jealous.
What?
This is what I wanted to get to at the end of this discussion. Maybe we're at the end. I don't know. You're never going to stop talking. So there's never an end. I think people are jealous of the fact that everything is out there. They can make stuff up about you. They can lie about you. But there's enough stuff out there, and the truth is out there. And there's no hidden secret that if it was suddenly exposed about you tomorrow, that you would you'd fall apart, because you've already been there and done that.
Yeah.
I think people are jealous of that. 'Cause
Really?
I think a lot of people have Smolanyana skeletons. I think they hide their true ideas. They hide their true principles. They're afraid of who will rat them out or who they owe their allegiance to. And that, as we said just now, is a state of perpetual slavery, right? You're never going to be a slave. You are a truly free person. Freedom, of course, is not free.
Yeah.
But you're a free person, and I think that drives some people crazy.
Really? That's sad.
Well, not for you. I mean, there's enough sad in your story, let's be fair. And your trials and tribulations are no doubt not over.
No,
And
not at all.
I just want to say that your freedom is a thing that other people will envy.
Oh,
And never
wow.
forget that.
Sure. It's strange though, because some of the people are saying, why did she have to write the book? She's an attention seeker.
Right.
So many people have written books and they weren't seeking attention.
Everybody, Andre the Rater.
Yeah. Is he an attention seeker?
Well, I don't think, because he has to live in Germany for fear of his life. All these whistleblowers in South Africa, we've spoken to a few of them on my show too. The people about Prasa, Sanrel.
Are they still in the country?
No, most of them, if they are, they're hiding.
They're
They have
hiding.
to, because there are actually people who want to kill them. But in a way, once you've told your story, that is your protection, right? Because you can say, if I go missing or something happens to me, the names are in the book.
These people don't care. They don't care. They'll kill you. Whether it's out there or not, they know the system is going to protect them, because in South Africa, you can buy justice.
Gee, that's a horrible note to end it on. Let's rather end it on something positive, please.
Okay, make another phone call.
Hello. Hi, is that Vatiswa?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Vatiswa. This is an agent from Hollywood. I just wanted to offer you a role on season 5 of Succession.
Whatever you give me, you can give me $1 a day.
Really?
I'll be there.
Oh, but I heard that you're one of those actors who bitches and moans about how little you get paid. Are you sure I can pay you $1 a day?
I can certainly take that.
Okay.
$1 is like 19 Rand.
I'm just our legal department. We just got a call from MultiChoice. They say we mustn't touch you. Oh well, listen. I love you. I think you're great.
Thanks,
I hope you
Gareth.
sell lots of books here, and I hope lots of people get to hear your story. Because I mean,
Thank you.
you know, it's admirable that you have turned what was just a catharsis to you into something that I think will be instructive to other people. When people say to me, I want to be an actress in South Africa, I'm going to say, read this book. And then they'll run screaming for the hills. They'll become anything except an actress.
Yeah.
Thank you
Well,
for
I
talking
hope
to me.
that. Thank you so much. And the book is available on Amazon.
There we go. Well,
Yeah.
you got to get it on Amazon because the stores are useless. And who goes into a store anymore? Unfiltered is what it's called. Vatiswa, your middle name's Viola.
Viola.
I like that. That's beautiful. Shakespeare's character, Viola.
Yes.
You really were meant to be an actress from day one.
I'm stuck now, not acting.
Well,
It will happen, though.
it'll happen.
It'll happen.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Gareth, for your time.
Thank you.